Morning students, how are you all? I hope all of you are doing well. A hearty welcome to today's English class. Today we are going to learn a new lesson from the Movements Supplementary. The seventh lesson, The Last Leaf. It is written by O. Henry. He is known as William Sidney Porter. He is an American short story writer. He was born on September 11th, 1862 and died on June 5th, 1910. He has written 381 short stories. He is known for his witticism, clever wordplay and unexpected twist endings. That is surprise endings. Now this story is about two young girls, namely Johnsy and Sue. They were artists. They stayed on the third-story building, a flat in a third-story building, and they used to paint and live their livelihood. For their livelihood, they used to do paintings. Now, Johnsy was suffering from pneumonia and she could not get out of it because she was always linking her sickness with negative thoughts, because there was an ivy creeper outside her room and the leaves were falling because of the great wind, and she linked her life that when all the leaves on the ivy plant falls down, she would die. So the writer wants us to say that we should always have an optimistic outlook, a positive outlook on life. We should not be pessimistic, or we should not link our life with negative thoughts. So students, take the textbook, page number 44. The Last Leaf. It is autumn. The wind is blowing hard and it is raining heavily. All the leaves on an ivy creeper have fallen except one. Why doesn't the last leaf fall? So the last leaf did not fall because it is an artificial leaf. Sue and Johnsy, two young artists, shared a small flat. The flat was on the third story of an old house. So these two young artists, namely Sue and Johnsy, they stayed in a small flat on a third story on the third story of an old house. Johnsy fell very seriously ill in November. She had pneumonia. She would lie in her bed without moving, just gazing out of the window. Sue, her friend, became very worried. She sent for the doctor. Although he came every day, there was no change in Johnsy's condition. So, Johnsy fell ill. She was suffering from pneumonia and she used to simply lie on the bed. She never used to take any food. She was so depressed. She used to gaze out of the window. And her friend Sue was very much worried and she called for doctor, and the doctor came every day to see her, and there was no improvement in her condition. One day the doctor took Sue aside and asked her, "Is anything worrying Johnsy?" "No," replied Sue. "But why do you ask?" The doctor said Johnsy, it seems, has made up her mind that she is not going to get well. If she doesn't want to live, medicines will not help her. So one day the doctor, who sees no improvement in the condition of Jansi called Sue and asked whether Jansi had some problems or something she is worrying about. And Sue said nothing was there. And the doctor said that she has decided not to get well and there is no improvement, there is no hope in life. So, if she doesn't want to leave, medicines cannot work. The doctor told her so. Sue tried her best to make Jansi take an interest in things around her. She talked about clothes and fashions, but Jansi did not respond. Jansi continued to lie still on her bed. Sue brought her drawing board into Jansi's room and started painting. To take Jansi's mind off her illness, she whistled while working. So, Sue tried her best to make her happy. So, she was speaking of clothes and fashions, but Jansi did not respond at all. And she continued to lie still on the bed looking outside. Sue brought her drawing board. Finally, she brought her drawing board into Jansi's bedroom and started painting so that her attention will be diverted. To take Jansi's mind off her illness, she whistled while working. She used to whistle so that her attention will be diverted. Suddenly, Sue heard Jansi whispering something. She quickly rushed to the bed and heard Jansi counting backwards. She was looking out of the window and was saying 12 after some time. She whispered 11, then 10, then 9, 8, 7. Sue anxiously looked out of the window. She saw an old ivy creeper climbing halfway up the brick wall opposite their window. In the strong wind outside, the creeper was shedding its leaves. So, suddenly Sue noticed that she was murmuring something. Jansi was murmuring something. So, she went close to her and she heard her counting backward. That is, she started counting 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. And she could not understand what was that. When she looked outside, she found that there was an ivy creeper which was shedding leaves because of the heavy wind or a storm. What is it, dear? Sue asked. 6, whispered Jansi. They are falling faster now. 3 days ago, there were almost 100 leaves. There are only 5 left now. So, she was again counting back 6. Then Sue asked her what is it that she is counting. Then she said that on the ivy creeper 3 days back there were hundreds of leaves. Now it was shedding its leaves and now it has reached 6. So Sue said, "It is autumn," said Sue, "and the leaves will fall." So she was consoling her, since it is autumn season, the leaves will fall. "When the last leaf falls, I will die," said Jansi with finality. "I have known this for the last 3 days. So she linked her sickness with this leaves falling from the ivy creeper, and she said that when the last leaf falls from the ivy creeper, she will die. "Oh, that is nonsense," replied Sue. "What have old ivy leaves to do with your getting well? The doctor is confident that you will get better." So she asked her what nonsense that she is linking her life with these leaves that are falling. So she told her that it is because of the autumn season and the leaves are falling. She need not link it with her life and she will get well soon. The doctor is confident and sure that she will get better. Jansi did not say anything. Sue went and brought her a bowl of soup. So for that Jansi did not give any reply. Then Sue went and prepared a bowl of soup and brought to her. I don't want any soup, said Johnsy. I am not hungry. Now there are only 4 leaves left. I want to see the last one fall before it gets dark. Then I will sleep forever. So she was not willing to take any food, and the soup was brought and she did not take. She was still looking outside and counting the leaves. And when she counted, there were only 4 leaves, and she wanted to see all 4 leaves shedding or falling down, and then she wanted to die or sleep forever. Sue sat on Johnsy's bed, kissed her and said, "You are not going to die. I can't draw the curtain for I need the light. I want to finish the painting and get some money for us. Please, my dear friend," she begged Johnsy, "promise not to look out of the window while I paint." So she said that she went and sat close to Johnsy and trying to comfort her, make her happy. She kissed her and told her that not to look outside. As she was doing the painting, she needed light from sunlight so that she could see. And she asked her not to look outside, and she cannot draw the curtains back because she had to paint. And she told her friend, begged her not to look out of the window while she paints. "All right," said Johnsy, "finish your painting soon, for I want to see the last leaf fall. I am tired of waiting. I have to die. So let me go away peacefully like one of those poor tired leaves." So she agreed not to look outside while she is painting. Then she said, asked her to finish the painting fast, so that she wanted to see those leaves falling, and she wanted to die peacefully like those leaves. "Try to sleep," said Sue. "I have to paint an old miner. I will call Benjamin up to be my model." So next she asked her to sleep peacefully, and she wanted to paint an old miner. So she needed a model. So she decided to call Benjamin as a model. Keeping him as model, she wanted to paint. Sue rushed down. Benjamin lived on the ground floor. He was a 60-year-old painter. So she rushed down. Benjamin was a 60-year-old painter. He was living downstairs. His lifelong dream was to paint a masterpiece, but that had remained a dream. So this Benjamin's lifelong dream was that he wanted to paint a masterpiece, means a best work. But that had remained a dream. So far he could not complete or fulfill that dream. Sue poured out her worries to Benjamin. She told him how Johnsy was convinced that she would die when the last leaf fell. So Sue did not have anyone to share her problems. So she went to Benjamin and told about Johnsy, who is looking outside waiting for the last leaf to fall so that she would die. "Is she stupid?" asked Benjamin. "How can she be so foolish? She is running a high temperature," complained Sue. "She refuses to eat or drink, and that worries me a lot." So Benjamin said, "Is she stupid to think like that? How can she be so foolish?" he asked. Then Sue told him that she is having high temperature and she refuses to eat or drink anything, and that is a great worry for Sue. "I will come with you and see Johnsy," Benjamin said. So he agreed to come up to see Johnsy. They tiptoed into the room. Johnsy was sleeping. Without making any noise, slowly they came to the room, and Johnsy was sleeping. Sue drew the curtains together and they went to the next room. She peeped out through the window. There was only one leaf on the creeper. It was raining heavily and an icy cold wind was blowing. So she took Behrman to the next room and pulled the curtains, and they looked through the window and found that on the ivy creeper only one leaf was left. There was only one leaf on the creeper. It was raining heavily and it was very cold. There was cold wind blowing. It seemed as though the leaf would fall any minute now. So it was almost going to fall. So they were sure that at any time it would fall. Behrman did not say a word. He went back to his room. He did not speak at all. He did not reply. He went down to his room. Nancy woke up next morning in a feeble voice. She asked Sue to draw the curtains. Sue was nervous. She drew back the curtains very reluctantly. So Nancy woke up next morning and asked Sue to draw the curtains, so that she wanted to look outside and make sure that whether that last leaf is there on the ivy creeper. And Sue was very nervous. She was frightened whether it had fallen. She drew back the curtains very reluctantly. Reluctantly means unwillingly. Oh, Sue exclaimed as she looked at the vine creeper. Look, there is still one leaf on the creeper. It looks quite green and healthy. In spite of the storm and the fierce winds, it didn't fall. So now Sue was very happy because there was one leaf left on the ivy creeper and it looked healthy, green and healthy. So she was appreciating that in spite of the storm and the fierce means very fast winds, very speedy wind, it did not fall at all. I heard the wind last night, said Jansi. I thought it would have fallen. It will surely fall today, then I will die. So Jansi said she heard the wind, the sound of the wind the last night, and she thought that it would fall, and so she can die. It will surely fall today. She thought that it would fall on that day and she will die soon. You won't die, said Sue energetically. You have to live for your friends. What would happen to me if you die? So she was telling her, encouraging her. Sue was encouraging Jansi that you will not die. She has to live for her friends. And if she dies, Sue will be left alone. Who is there for her? She asked her. Jansi smiled weakly and closed her eyes. After every hour or so, she would look out of the window and find the leaf still there. It seemed to be clinging to the creeper. So Jansi was smiling weakly and she closed her eyes. And after every hour, she was looking outside, looking whether the last leaf is there. And she found that it was clinging to the creeper. In the evening, there was another storm, but the leaf did not fall. Jansi lay for a long time looking at the leaf. Then she called out to Sue. So in the evening, there was a heavy wind and the leaf did not fall. And she was going on looking outside to this ivy creeper. And then she called out to Sue. I have been a bad girl. You have looked after me so lovingly and I have not cooperated with you. I have been depressed and gloomy. The last leaf has shown me how wicked I have been. I have realized that it is a sin to want to die. Now a new positive thought came to Jansi's mind. She called Sue and she realized that she had been very bad and she was full of depressed and gloomy. She was full of depression and she was very gloomy. And she was troubling her friend Sue. She realized her mistake and she realized that it is a sin to want to die. She did not want to live. That is a sin. She herself realized that. Sue hugged Jansi. Then she gave her lots of hot soap and a mirror. Jansi combed her hair and smiled brightly. So now she became a transformed person. Sue hugged her and she gave her soap, also gave her a mirror, and she had soap and started combing her hair, and she started smiling brightly. In the afternoon, the doctor came. After examining his patient, he told Sue, Jansi now has the will to live. I am confident she will recover soon. Now I must go downstairs and see Behrman. He is also suffering from pneumonia, but I am afraid there is no hope for him. So in the afternoon, doctor came and he examined Jansi, and there was a lot of improvement, and the doctor was very happy, and he told Sue that she will recover faster, and downstairs Behrman is also suffering from pneumonia, and he is very serious. There is no hope, he said. The next morning, Sue came and sat on Jansi's bed. Taking Jansi's hand in hers, she said, I have something to tell you. Mr. Behrman died of pneumonia this morning. So next morning, Sue came and sat near to Jansi and told her she wanted to say something to her. And she conveyed the sad news that Behrman died of pneumonia. He was ill for only 2 days. The first day, the janitor found him on his bed. His clothes and shoes were wet and he was shivering. He had been out in that stormy night. So, he had been sick only for 2 days. So, first day, the janitor means the watchman, he found him on his bed. He was lying on his bed. His clothes and shoes were wet and he was shivering in the cold. So during the night time, he was in the stormy night, he was outside, that's why he got wet. Then they found a ladder and a lantern still lighted lying near his bed. Then they found a ladder and also a lantern, a lamp that is lit. It was found near his bed. There were also some brushes and green and yellow paints on the floor near the ladder. So they also found some paints and a brush, green and yellow paint and a brush near to his bed. Jansi dear, said Sue, look out of the window, look at the ivy leaf. Haven't you wondered why it doesn't flutter when the wind blows? So Sue asked Jansi to look outside and showed her that leaf. Then asked her why it doesn't flutter. Flutter means move when the wind blows. Did you notice that the leaf is not moving when the wind blows? That is Behrman's masterpiece. So that is the best work of Behrman, because the day when he came to know that Jansi is going to die with the falling of the last leaf, in the night he painted that last leaf on the ivy creeper on the wall. He painted it the night the last leaf fell. So it remains as the masterpiece of Behrman, which he wanted to do during his life. So that is the best work of Behrman. So students, we learned from this story that we should be always optimistic. We should have a positive outlook on life. We should not be pessimistic or think negatively. Always we should be filled with positive thoughts. Then we will find a meaning and a hope in our life. So students, read the story, write down the question answers in your notebook. Thank you students. Have a nice day.